Reid, wonderful to have you join us. Thank you very much indeed. First of all, let me look at really the consortium of buyers. At last we get them, but it's a complex group of payers because the financing and the money on the table isn't all that clear.
Exactly. Essentially, we have a private equity component, Bain Capital, and then two Japanese state-supported funds, the Innovation Network Corp of Japan, which is really aimed at investing in new technologies and new areas, as well as the Development Bank of Japan, and SK Hynix, a competitor in the memory chip space, is also joining, also in the form of debt, just to make sure that they don't get caught up in any antitrust or regulatory hurdles. Okay,
so now we move forward potentially in terms of antitrust regulatory hurdles. I want to understand what other hurdles there could be, because of course there was some issues with Western Digital not liking some of the people who are potentially going to be buying Toshiba. Are those sorts of issues all put to rest?
Yeah, there's two main hurdles to think of at this point. One of them is by and large mostly resolved, and that is not so much antitrust, but essentially the Japanese government trying to make sure that key technology doesn't find its way overseas into the hands of Chinese or Korean manufacturers. With the participation of those two state-backed funds, that's probably going to be pretty much resolved. The other issue, as you mentioned, is Western Digital. Now, they are already a partner with Toshiba in that they have invested in equipment together, but it's a rather small part of the overall memory chip business. But what Western Digital is concerned about is that the business might fall into the hands of a competitor. Broadcom is also still, at this point, a bidder for the business, although it's looking unlikely that they are going to win. And one of Western Digital's objectives was to make sure that the chip business didn't fall into a competitor's hands. Now, what Western Digital has done very briefly is filed an injunction to try and stop the sale. But at this point, our read is that Bain Capital and the consortium that it's created are probably pretty confident that it can overcome any legal challenges, and that's why they have emerged as the leading or preferred bidder for the chip unit.